Well, it's a beautiful fall day and the sun's out. It's fairly warm out too. It's around 60 degrees, which is pretty warm for this time of year. And I thought, such a beautiful day, I'd just do a little back patio tour. In the summertime, I had a lot of jaboticabas out here, and I've moved them inside the greenhouse. And I've been shuffling plants around. Let's see what I got here. So over here, this is a plant from Argentina. Sorry, my brain skipped when I was. Oh yes, it's called an uvi, Eugenia piriformis. This one has flowered for me once, and it appears to be fairly cold tolerant, so I'm keeping it outside. And this big one back here is another cousin of it. It's an ubijay. This thing's flowered for me several times, and it doesn't set fruit. I'm not sure if it's because of age or pollination issues, but we'll just keep it around and see what happens. Might try to find a partner for it, see what would happen if I did. Kind of hidden behind here is the guaibiju. This is a plant that survives easily year-round here. And over here I have a grafted white sapote, a couple of them actually. White sapote is kind of borderline for our climate too here. I'm trying actually an experiment to see if I can grow a pot of them and keep them outdoors, never bring them inside. So far they've lived for about a year, so we'll see what happens this winter. Over here is my hummingbird plant. This one's definitely getting a little affected by the chill. The leaves are turning red. Probably need to move it in before it freezes. We haven't had too much weather below 40 degrees yet, but it's coming. Usually that will start in late November or late December, whenever it decides to come. This is a fancy avocado from Lara Farms. It's one of those more tropical kinds. It's called a Lara. Imagine that. And over here is another white sapote that I grafted. This one's called a Vernon. And this one has a reputation of being a really good cultivar for growing in pots. I've been grafting some Peluche loquats. They're all looking pretty good. I'm not sure if this one's going or not. It's kind of looking kind of dry. So I think maybe that one didn't take. It's starting to feel a little soft. I think the rest of them are doing fine. Some Wampy seedlings here. I need to find some science for those and graft them. If you just get a unnamed cultivar, it'll be really seedy and not much to eat. But there are some good ones out there, I've heard. Just gotta find them. Over here I have some different Puterias. Puteria is kind of more of a tropical plant, and these two species, one is canistel and the other one's called a green sapote. This kind of thicker leaf. They both have a reputation of being fairly cold tolerant, and so far that's been proven true. Kind of see how the plant's doing. I think if it gradually cools off to the 30s, it should be okay. It's just the sudden swings that kind of throw the plants into panic mode. Over here is a couple of rainforest guavas. It's called Psidium myrtoides. These are supposedly the same species, but these two plants definitely have a different growth pattern. This one's wanting to shoot up more, and that one's wanting to flop out more. Over here is some, oh gosh, I'm not sure why I'm having a memory skip on me. Let me grab my tag. Yes, Grimmy Chamas. These are some seedlings that I've been growing for couple of years, and kind of thinking that when I do need to bring them into the greenhouse, that might be enough to stimulate them into flowering for the first time, because they look to me like they're big enough. Over here I have some more guavas. It's a narrow leaf guava. I had a couple of fruits. Oh, there's one that have formed. It flowered for the first time this year, and we'll see if those fruit get any size to them. If it freezes, I might need to move these into the greenhouse, and that usually will help ripen up the fruit. This plant here is nice size, but it's never flowered for me yet. It's called a Brazilian milkwood, and seems fairly cold tolerant. It's doing fine out here. Seems happier outside generally than inside the greenhouse. This is an interesting guava. It's a standard common guava, but it has purple leaves, and it's got a couple of those this summer, and they've been growing pretty well. I think I'm probably a couple years away on those flowering. And speaking of guavas, I got more guavas. This is a Brazilian Psidium angulatum. It has it was flowering for the first time this summer. I am not sure if any of the flowers took. I kind of doubt it, though. Sometimes guavas are tricky for pollination. And there's one flower. I'm not sure if that's just going to fall off or turn into anything. We'll see, though. And I have lots of different kind of common guavas over here. Common guava is also known as Psidium guava. Another flower that is a question mark on this Psidium angulatum. Let's see, what do I got over here? This is another Eugenia. I'm not sure why my memory drops out when I have the camera rolling, but it does. This one has fruited a couple of times. It makes this, Eugenia Florida. It makes this interesting small blackberry. It tastes a lot like a blackberry. It's nothing that exciting, but it's a nice little fruit. Fruits are tiny. They're like the size of a raisin. And I've got this mango that I've grafted here, and I think mangoes are generally okay about freezing, and then they start complaining a lot if it goes below that. I have some annonas over here that I've grafted. A few ice cream beans. And over here, a couple of Suriname cherries, Eugenia unifloras. These have grown pretty fast, and it's kind of strange. I've had a couple of them that are in smaller pots that have flowered for me, but these two larger ones have not flowered for me. Back here is a peanut butter fruit. And this one is currently flowering. Puts out some flowers here. Nothing's happened on them, though. It's interesting. This one seems to like to throw out some variegated foliage here and there at random times. Not sure if it's related to stress or if it's just partly variegated. It's interesting, though. Let's see, what do we have next here? A couple of wax jambus. Had these for a while, like 5 years. They both fruited a couple of years ago, and that was about it. Currently, I'm just trying to kind of force them to be a little bit more cold tolerant. Try to keep them out as long as possible. One thing about CZGM is that if you bring it inside too early, the bugs will go after it. And so it's just better to keep them out as long as possible, and then bring them in and spray them with some bug spray, and just cross your fingers and hope that the bugs don't overtake it. Got to kind of keep on top of it. Here, this is a Chrysophyllum viridi. This is a plant I got, a seed I got last year from Bellamy. It's growing pretty fast. Chrysophyllum is closely related to Puteria. And speaking of Puteria, I have some Puteria salicifolias, these thin leaf ones that have turned out to be pretty cold hardy. And then a couple of lucumas. I bought a box of lucuma fruit last year and planted a few seeds. Still have a few small jaboticabas out here, eugenias, whatnot. Some star fruits. This is a citrus relative. It's called a ginberry. This one hasn't flowered for me yet, but definitely looks a lot like citrus. I'm guessing that you could graft it onto citrus rootstock, or for the fruit, tastes like gin and tonic or something, which I have to confess I've never tried, but sounded interesting. Here's a couple of carambola, also known as star fruit. I've grown all these from seeds, and these two have been grown a lot longer than this smaller one. And back here, that looks like a star fruit, but it's actually a curry plant that's common spice in Southeast Asia. Makes these little berries. They get bigger and they turn black when they're ripe. Grows really well. It's fairly okay with the cool weather. I put it in the south-facing wall here. And over here I've got, this is called a scorpion pepper. Share this with a good friend of mine that really loves hot peppers. He was saying that he kills all the plants. I offered to give him the plant. He's like, no, please just give me the fruit. And then he was trying to tell me last month, oh, you should bring it indoors. It's going to die out in the cold. And I said, well, I think it's doing fine. And I gave him some fruit last week, and then I got some more fruit to give him next week. So middle of November, it's still doing okay. A couple other peppers here, serrano and jalapeno. Did I cover everything? I think I got about everything in the patio. Oh, except a couple of things over here. A couple of mulberries that I've been, rooted cuttings that I've been growing, and some Desert King figs that I've been growing as well. I have a big tree in the front, and I take cuttings when I prune it and share them, sell them, whatever. It's a great fruit, so people have been buying them from me and super happy with how much fruit they're getting and how delicious it is. A couple of gummy berries. These are some nice varieties. This one's called a Carmine, or no, that one's a Hidden Springs, and then I got Carmines over there. Okay, one last look. Oh, that's ugly thing is a pandan. It's a type of grass that's used for Asian cooking, and it was getting buggy, and I think I'm just gonna toss it because I don't use it for cooking, and it just kind of collects bugs, so it's got to go. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you on the next video. Sorry for being so long.